Is Yamaha's David Vuillemin such a man? He's halfway home to a $100,000 payday. The U.S. Open from the MGM Grand is next on Speed. It's the grand finale of the Maxxis U.S. Open from Las Vegas, Nevada. Defending champion Mike LaRocco looking to make it 2 in a row. But he has his work cut out for him tonight. It's the second of 2 nights here in Vegas. All of the good-looking people are here, the celebrities, the excitement, the electricity is in the air. We're in the VIP room. Hi, I'm Robbie Floyd alongside Davey Coombs. This is a 2-day event. This is day number 2, and in the 125s yesterday, a great race for the CRF 250 and Chris Gosselaar.
Yeah, it sure was. A lot of people figured that one of the thumpers would be out front, but they thought it was going to be a blue bike like Mike Brown or Brock Sellards, but instead Gosselaar goes out on the maiden voyage of that CRF 250R, gets his first professional win. Just a fantastic debut for that bike.
Now, Sellards, Brown, you mentioned their names, but what happened to them?
Just bad starts and crashes early in the race. They just didn't have it. But I tell you what, the big surprise, Troy Adams. A lot of people got to be scratching their heads right now wondering why they didn't sign that guy for 2004, but who knows? There's still time. He might be able to do it again tonight.
Kid was really fast. I'm looking forward to tonight. Now, the 250cc class, a great race. Underdogs are known to prevail here at the U.S. Open, and it happened again, this time David Vuillemin, the Cobra.
Exactly. Everyone came to see a Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed battle, and they did see it, but unfortunately, it was for second place. David Vuillemin got out front early, rode a flawless race, and just, I was absolutely shocked. A lot of people were, and I got to tell you, his work with David Bailey as his Supercross coach is really paying off.
It did pay off. Well, Cameron Steele was able to speak with him earlier. This is what he had to say.
Well, guys and people at home, the number 12 is in the house. The Cobra strikes. Night number 1, first place. You got to like that. On your way to possibly $100,000, David?
Yeah, it's possible, but you know, it's one more night of racing, and we have 2 great guys to beat tonight, and it's going to be a tough one, but I'm going to give whatever I have to do it.
All right, so Chad Reed comes second, Ricky Carmichael third. They're the odds-on favorites coming in. I know you're a little pushed around by the whole odds thing, and you want to win, but I heard you saying earlier that it's a good thing that both these bikes are blue.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure it's going to be a tight, that's a tight track, it's going to be a tight race, and in practice we have basically all 3 the same lap time, so, you know, to pass somebody at the same lap time, you have to do a block pass, so I think you're going to see a lot of contacts tonight.
Rubbing is racing, though. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, you know, I don't take anybody out. You know, it's not my style. I'm gonna, even if I have to set up for second or third, you know, that's a good weekend for me. You know, I'm not here for the money. I'm here to have fun on the Supercross track, and there's a great people in the crowd, and I think that's what it is.
For those of you people at home that may not know David Vuillemin, like we do here in Supercross land, he is calm, cool, and collected. And when he's loose like he is right now, he is so dangerous. It should be an exciting night.
Thanks, Cameron. We'll see if he has that sting of the Cobra tonight. Davey Coombs, this is a 2-stop event. We're on the second night, but boy, last night, great action in both the 125 and the 250.
It sure was. Great racing, Robbie, because these guys are going for the richest purse in all of motorcycling, $300,000. And for the first time, it includes the 125 Supercross guys. And here you saw in the beginning, Kelly Smith with a good start. Brock Sellards, who's an early favorite, goes down right away. He's out of the picture. And wow, it was no surprise that Kelly Smith got the start. A big surprise was Troy Adams, a practically unheard of privateer, shows up here at the MGM Grand and decides to show everyone that he's ready for Supercross 2004. Puts a move on Kelly Smith, and then Mike Brown, who a lot of people, you know, he's making his 4-stroke debut. A lot of people thought he'd be up there, but instead Brownie back in 6th. But this guy right here, Chris Gosselaar, almost start to finish. Solid win on the maiden voyage, like I said at the top, showing that 4-stroke Honda. He gets the win, and then Kelly Smith is able to battle back from Andrew Short to get 3rd, but he's got a way to go if he's going to get after Chris Gosselaar.
This is a 2-day event. You see the last-ditch effort by Andrew Short to no avail. Smith holds on to that 3rd spot. Now this is basically a 2-moto format. Night number 1, night 2, you get a combination, and the second race always breaks those ties.
In the 250 class, David Vuillemin shocked everyone. I mean, for lack of a better word, 20 laps, start to finish, main event win. This is a guy who hasn't won a Supercross in a couple years. It really wasn't a factor all summer long in the Outdoor Nationals, but he got out front early and took off. Meanwhile, his teammate Chad Reed had to get a little aggressive with Ernesto Fonseca, working his way up through the field, and then he came up to his nemesis in Supercross, Ricky Carmichael, and check out this pass. Slingshot right past the Honda. Chad Reed serving notice that he's ready to go, but you know what? Before he can win, he's got to catch this guy right here, his teammate David Vuillemin. Vuillemin, smooth, solid, sleek. I can't say enough about the guy. It was a perfect ride for the Cobra.
David Vuillemin was able to take the win. Chad Reed, Ricky Carmichael rounded out the top three. Mike LaRocco still in the hunt in fourth spot. When we come back, we're going to let loose the 125. And Chris Gosselaar, can he make it 2 in a row? Or will the two Yamahas of Mike Brown and Kelly Smith have something to say about it? Stick with us. Soapin' on Speed is being brought to you by Thor, First in Gear. And by KTM. It's time to go KTM. Don't miss KTM's fall sale. Awesome deals on every KTM in stock. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Glad you could join us. Robbie Floyd alongside Davey Coombs in 125cc heat race number 1. Davey, top 5, transferred directly into the final.
Yeah, and there you saw what Eric Nye is looking at from the back row. And on the inside, Mike Brown with a hole shot, and he's right up against the Suzuki number 245. And I got to tell you, I'm not sure who that is. Tommy Harrison. Wow, that's a surprise. A privateer with a real good start, but Brown makes short work of him. So Mike Brown out front, coming up behind him, you see one of his teammates. That's Josh Hansen in third. Brownie finished 6th in the opener, and he's got a lot of work cut out for him if he's going to get up there and win this inaugural 125 championship here at the U.S. Open.
Got to give some love to Tommy Harrison on the AJ Racing Suzuki. Back in that 3rd or 4th spot now. He's battling out with number 32, Andrew Short, who really knows the fast way around this track. Let's take a look at that first lap. Had a little traffic jam here.
Yeah, right there you see number 92, and that's Ryan Dudek. Gets a little hung up there. I tell you, Robbie, we're going to see that all night long here on this tight track.
And while we were away, Andrew Short was able to get by Mike Brown. Brownie tried to stick a nose in there, but Andrew Short, your leader right now out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, on that MotoWorldRacing.com Suzuki.
Andrew just finished off the podium last night in 4th and off to a real good start here tonight. Looks like Brown's having a little bit of trouble. Josh Hansen, his younger teammate, gets right up there on him as they go back into the tunnels. And here's the pass right here. I don't know that Brown even saw this coming. Andrew Short comes inside. That is a classic Supercross box pass. If he wanted to, he could have taken Mike way outside. Check it out. Sets it up, jumps to the inside. Brown's thinking about the exit of the turn. Andrew takes advantage of that and just slides right in there. Could have knocked him down, but clean racing by Andrew Short.
You have to get to that exit first. Andrew Short out in front. Again, as you mentioned, finished 4th at the first stop. He's going to be a winner of heat race number 1, and all the way to the finish, Josh Hansen all over Mike Brown. Chris Gosselaar and Tommy Hoffmaster round out the field. They will transfer at Cameron's with Andrew Short.
Well, Andrew winning the first heat's got to be a lot better feeling than last night. It was tough on you last night.
Yeah, definitely. I had a hard time last night. I made just basic, stupid moves, and I paid for it all last night. I started on the 2nd row, and I moved my way up to 4th, and tonight I'm starting off on a really good foot. Now I can win this thing tonight.
Well, Andrew exuding confidence. All right, heat number 2 of the 125cc. Same format, top 5 transfer.
And another Suzuki out front, only this time it's Brock Hepler on that new 4-stroke. He's got Casey Lytle on the KTM behind him, and a bad start a little further back. And right there you can see Ryan Mills kind of come inside Kelly Smith, and he goes down, so that's going to put him toward the back.
The object is to come in the top 5, but you've got to keep it on 2 wheels. You're starting to drop out of things. 61, Troy Adams, he was 2nd last night. He's going back in the pack.
And then you see Hepler doing real good, comes to the whoops, and he just gets squirrely right there and stalls out that bike. You can hear the other bikes going by. Casey Lytle goes by, and then you got Evan Lockridge, who has raced in Canada. Looked like he had the lead, but instead in the back, Steve Mertens had a little problem. And then, oh man, Casey Lytle messes up over the jump, kind of fumbled, hit a false neutral right there or something. Kelly Smith runs right into the back of him. You see Lytle getting helped off the track there by Eddie Casillas and the Astros medical doctors, and just a tough night all around for these guys, but Ryan Mills, after that early fall, comes through and he takes the checkered flag, and what a surprise for a race.
Everyone seemed to go down. Mills, Lockridge, Smith, Adams, and Mertens will be the transfers.
Well, Ryan Mills, you had to get through the carnage to get that heat race win. Last night at 7th place. Definitely want to step it up and go for the win like your teammate did last night.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to try. I mean, Chris rode great last night, and I was actually lucky some guys went down because, I mean, if they didn't go down, it would have been a little harder for me out there. But, you know, I put my work in this past couple weeks at the Supercross track, so I just hope I can do it here tonight and be on the podium with Chris.
If you don't make it in the heat race, you must qualify through the LCQ. In this one, only 2 transfer. And Brock Hebler, fucking Bronco there, Davey.
Yeah, we've seen people go down the whoops all weekend long. You see him stuck under his bike. Brock was 5th the first night. He is not going to make the main event. You know, this time at least he kept the bike running. And out front, number 191, Jonathan Schimm. That's a big surprise.
Jonathan Schimm leads right now, but in that last chance qualifier, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. These guys behind you are going to be pressing. They're going to be making contact, whatever it takes to get those 2 spots.
You see Eric Vallejo come up on the inside, and, well, that's it for Jonathan Schimm. He goes backwards. Vallejo, like Andrew Short, a newlywed, so we say congratulations. Good to see being married hasn't slowed him down a bit.
Take a look at this, Davey, on the inside. What happened to Hepler here?
Well, you know what? He lost his balance. He could feel himself going over in the tough blocks. He tried to keep his balance on the bike. I mean, give him full credit for trying to save it, but there was no way. And then right here, I mean, we've seen this all night long, all weekend long. Here comes on the inside. Vallejo takes Schimm outside. At least he didn't put him out in the bales, but Greg Schnell's able to get by. That's going to lock up the last 2 spots. It's going to be Vallejo and Greg Schnell transferring the main event.
Only 2 transfers, so unfortunate for Daniel Blair, Blows, and 9. They are not going to be in the final. All right, the 125 cc field is set for the finals. And don't forget the 250s. Ricky Carmichael, show number 1 winner, David Vuillemin, and Chad Reed when we come back. Las Vegas, Nevada. Everybody getting their picture with Ricky Carmichael. You know, he's raced here in Las Vegas many times, but here in our Honda rider profile, he tells us what makes Vegas so special.
Well, Vegas is special to race in, number 1, because it's Vegas, and there's just, I mean, this place is just weird, you know. It's unreal. Every time I come here, this place amazes me. And especially if you win in Vegas, there's always something going on. So that's the coolest thing. If you can win in Vegas, you always know there's going to be fun that night. And that's what I enjoy, you know, having a good time, and just the venue here at MGM and Vegas itself. It's a fun atmosphere.
What's that, fun? Vegas? Yeah. 250cc heat race number 1. Again, 5 qualify, and out in front is the Honda of Ernesto Fonseca. This guy's been pretty hot here in Vegas. I want to sit next to him on the craps table.
And check it out, the busiest man of the night, Andrew Short, got a pretty good start there. He's off at about 4th. Carmichael was on the far inside. He got pinched out, so check it out. You see Ricky right there, number 4, comes up on the hay bales on the inside, but he just did not get the start. LaRocco leans out a little bit on your outside, but Fonseca, it's like the whole pack parted for him. He just shot right to the inside.
Speaking of shooting on the inside, David Vuillemin trying to stick a wheel inside of Mike LaRocco. There's the one guy you probably don't want to power too much. You don't want to rub elbows with a rock.
Yeah, and you know what? It looked like Vuillemin was riding with a lot of respect right there. He could have gotten an elbow under and pushed him out, almost like flat track racing. But Vuillemin makes a good pass. LaRocco comes back on the inside.
No respect right there. He was going for that front tire.
Yeah, but you can see David really carrying over some of that speed he had in the opening night. Now, these are a couple guys that race Supercross together every Saturday night in the winter, and you can see real close quarters, going fast. That's a complicated piece of track, but they both get through okay. And now LaRocco's got Ricky Carmichael to deal with. Oh, and LaRocco overjumped just a little bit, and that was all Ricky needed. Man, that's the way it is here in the MGM, Robbie. You make one mistake, just one blink of an eye, you make a mistake, someone goes right by.
All right, look what happened. You want to talk about false neutral. Look at LaRocco get thrown forward right there. There was no power going to the rear wheel.
He's lucky he didn't keep going and eject right over the side of that berm. And then Ricky was able to get right up on David Vuillemin, carries that momentum up. And again, you know, these guys race together. They have a lot of respect. You don't see quite this respect in the 125 class. You know, gets right up there, but now Ernesto Fonseca is way out front. and there's no way Carmichael's going to catch him.
So Fonseca takes the win. Ricky moves up to the number 2 spot. Vuillemin, LaRocco, and the Arena Cross champion Josh DEMUTH in the final transfer. Down to Cameron.
Well, there's odds-on favorites like Chad and Ricky, and then night 1 winner David Vuillemin. But hey, Ernesto Fonseca is in the house.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good to be up here, you know, and it's the first heat race that I've ever won on a 250. Really happy my bike was working good, and, you know, hopefully I can do it in the main, too.
In the second 250 heat race, Chad Reed, this guy, he has to be the fastest on the track this weekend. Give it a good start. He's looking to take the win tonight.
Yeah, that's all he was lacking the first time, Robbie, a really bad start. You get a good start here and you're able to stay out of all the carnage. You see him getting out there trying to take care of things, but Reed, just as solid as Vuillemin the night before, but can he beat Carmichael?
Well, Chad, in heat number 1, neither one of the podium finishers with you from the first night could win it. Ernesto Fonseca wins. You win heat number 2. Do you feel like that gives you a little bit more momentum? Maybe those guys are tight tonight?
It was a good thing because there wasn't, you know, as many people in the race, and, you know, I was able to be able to start on the grid where I kind of felt comfortable. I didn't really have to protect my line on the inside. So, you know, I was able to try a few things in that race, and I think it's working for the main event. Hopefully I can get a whole shot and you know, do what Villy did last night, and just use the race to my advantage and just run my lines and do my race.
We're looking for 2 more riders in our 250 final. Heath Voss is out in front, 28 on the Mach 1 Yamaha, but this battle for second, little contact.
Right there, Jason Thomas gets, that's not even a love tap that Tyler Evans gave. That was a full-on bums rush. Evans, former freestyler, part of what they call the Metal Militia, back into racing. Right here he's going with top privateer, or one of the top privateers from last year's Supercross series, Keith Johnson. Keith gets inside, gives Evans a taste of his own medicine, and you know what? This is a little bit of payback. Evans hits Johnson again, gives him a little look back, and some of the most aggressive racing we've seen here at the MGM Grand. White flag is out. All Evans has to do is just hold on, get ready to one more trip down through the whoops, coming along the outside. He's going to have, whoa!
All he has to do is keep it on 2 wheels, just like you said, Davey.
I was just getting ready to say, all Tyler has to do is going to beat Johnson, and man, right there, hits a bear trap or a landmine or something, and that was it. You know what? His karma wasn't very good at that point anyway.
Now he's going to go back to that militia compound and try and work on that nose wheelie a little better. So Keith Voss takes the win. Keith Johnson, the final transfer. Everyone else gets a great seat up in the stands. Down to Cameron Steele with our 125 finalists still to go.
Well, guys, we're backstage and staging, getting ready for the 125cc main event, and well, there's a lot of winners here. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Everybody's hanging out. Andrew Short, Ryan Mills, Kelly Smith, and Chris Gosselaar. You guys are actually kind of cool with each other, even though you got to go out there and trade paint?
I think it's just a show for camera. I mean, off camera, we all hate each other.
Oh, okay, so you guys are normally banging bars and get to it. You won a heat tonight. Your boy won the main last night. You like the reverse roles there? You like to take the heat, the main win?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, all these guys are riding good, but it's going to be fun out there because I'm not letting Chris win tonight, so.
What about the whole shot master? You had a rhyme for me.
Oh, yeah. Blackjack Paddywhack here in Las Vegas.
Kelly Smith and Andrew Short winning the heat tonight. Last night, frustrating. What about a main event win? Number 2 here in Vegas for you?
Yeah, Vegas been good for me, so hopefully we have a repeat.
Right on, all these guys are looking loose. You know, they're loading the bikes, going to the gate. I'd be nervous. I'm chewing my fingernails just talking to these guys. But hey, back up to you guys upstairs.
Well, there's one guy who should be nervous for the 125 final, and that's Chris Gosselaar. He won the first show, but can he repeat? Let me take a look at Mike Brown.
You see Mills is going to elect to not take that far inside line. He gives it up to Mike Brown, like you said. Evan Lockridge, a real fast qualifier. Kelly Smith, of course, we saw him get on the podium the first night. Troy Adams overcame that crash to make the main event, and then Vallejo and Schnell survived that LCQ. Taking a look at the track here now, it's ironic that the biggest person Supercross happens to take place on the smallest track. And from right here on the screen, it may look like it was designed by Excitebike, but don't get the wrong impression. They brought Rich Winkler and the Dirtworks crew in here. They put in 6 lanes, and that's as Supercross as it gets. It's just shrunk down a little bit. But hey, if you want to race in the MGM Grand Garden Arena, you can't make it a full deal, but you got to make the best you can of it. And I think they did a fantastic job on this racetrack.
When you don't have enough room inside, we bring it outside for just a moment. All right, 15 laps, 125 main event.
See Brown edging up, and he got a little bit of a rolling start, and I think he's going to get the whole shot. No, of course. Kelly Smith once again.
Go figure, huh?
Yamaha of Troy's 1, 2, and 3. You see Short there coming up in fourth. Lockwood with a good start. But Mike Brown takes the early lead. Kelly Smith right behind him. Where is Chris Gosselaar?
Gosselaar back in the pack, but Kelly Smith known to get good starts, and Mike Brown really made that when he had the inside line and just hugged on that inside.
Yeah, that's what you want to do on a track like this. You know what? If anyone's got the strength to muscle people out, it's Mike Brown, but notice Kelly Smith got there before him, and that's kind of expected. You see Josh Hansen a little bit trouble through it, and right there just went Gosselaar. Not a good start, certainly not as good as he started in the first main event. He's got his work cut out for him.
Let's talk about this field. I mean, this is a full-blown 125 class. We were expecting Brownie to be there in the last show. He was not. He was outside the top 3. Kelly Smith, on the other hand, is going for the overall.
Yeah, right now Kelly Smith is kind of sitting in the driver's seat with Adams and Gosselaar being a little far back, but a couple 4 strokes out front. Then you have that RM 125 of Short, and I know that he got 4th the first night. He's got an outside chance. In fact, if you broke it down right now, it would be between Smith and Short for the win here, the 125 overall.
And Andrew Short knows that. He's back at that 3rd spot, and he sees his closest competitor as being his closest rival as far as that overall goes. And Kelly Smith, he's going to take those inside lines, saying, if you're going to pass me, you're going to do the long way around the outside.
Yeah, Andrew Short's riding with a lot of confidence. That happens when you win a Supercross like he did back in May. He won the East-West Shootout. Also, don't forget, he just got himself married. He married Jackie Hudson, WML motocrosser. They might just be the fastest couple in all of motocross, replacing Derek Natfig and Mercedes Gonzalez and the Wagners from up in Michigan. So congratulations to Andrew Short. But right now he's not thinking honeymoon. He's thinking a win here at the U.S. Open.
Oh, but if he wins here at the U.S. Open, he'd have another honeymoon. Big payday, $300,000 total purse. Stick with us for more of the 125.
All across America.
Speeds coverage of the U.S. Open. Robbie Floyd, Davey Coombs, and Cameron Steele calling the action. We're halfway through this 125 final here. And Chris Gosselaar is nowhere near the top 3. He's got to move up if he's going to win this thing. Right now, out in front is Mike Brown, number 3. Josh Hansen now up to 5th spot as he's trying to work his way through the field.
I tell you what, that bad start just killed him, because check it out. You've got 3 of the fastest Supercross riders in the world running 1, 2, 3, and then you got Ryan Mills, who's set the fastest heat race. So Gosselaar's got his work cut out for him. In fact, I think right now you got to focus on the battle for 2nd and 3rd between Smith and Short for the guy who's going to win the overall in this race. Of course, Kelly Smith was 3rd in our first main event. Short was a very close 4th. Mike Brown finished back in 6th. So, I mean, that's why it's like motocross going. And right here comes Short up the inside. Smith's able to hold him up. That's why it's so important to be consistent here in the MGM Grand, because they count both scores equally. In the case of a tie, it's whoever does better on this night's action.
Well, that second moto breaks ties. That's why tonight is so important. Mike Brown out in front, but you know, there's one big name we haven't mentioned, and that's James Bubba Stewart. He's here in Vegas. He's not riding, and we wondered why, so we asked him.
You know, just not been getting on the bike, and we're hoping to look forward to it and figure out the things for the next year and the next couple of weeks. So, you know, I've been riding the 4-stroke and everything, and it's a good bike, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, man, James Stewart on a 4-stroke. The idea of just how fast that kid might be that's pretty mind-boggling. But back to the battle here. Right there, Andrew Short just got a great drive out of the whoops, and he's able to shoot right by Kelly Smith. And uh-oh, check it out, Robbie. Chris Gosselaar on the sidelines.
Holding his forearm, too.
Yeah.
And you know, a guy, if he's somewhat hurt, he'll get back in, especially for tens of thousands of dollars. So it looks like he may be injured beyond returning to this fray. Andrew Short's a fast guy on the track. He's all over Mike Brown now. He got by Kelly Smith.
And that's huge, because right now, as it stands, Andrew Short would be your winner of the 125 cc class here. With Gosselaar out of the picture, Short going 4th the first night. He'd have a 2nd tonight. Mike Brown would have a 6-1. Kelly Smith would have a 3-3. So the MotorWorldRacing.com Suzuki rider, that would be a big surprise. But you know what? He's not letting up. He is coming right up on Mike Brown.
Well, Mike Brown takes a look over. He has to be aware of the rider next to him or behind him.
Well, he could certainly tell it's Short, because that's the only 2-stroke that's that far up in the pack.
Right, but he's trying to make him go that long way around. You see him look, he'll take those inside lines, but Short, looks very fast out there. He might have been fourth the first night, but don't count him out tonight.
Yeah, we could see the confidence beginning of the show. Oh, and he almost got off the bike there. Almost had a problem. You see everyone going by Chris Gosselaar again, so yeah, scratch him out. He is definitely out of the race, but right now it's Brown, Short, and Smith. And not only is this the battle for tonight's main event, this is the battle for the overall title here at the MGM Grand.
Well, what about Brown? Is it Pride? Is he side by side?
Oh, he almost had him right there. Sure, it's these guys.
Brown, is it pride? Because he finished sixth that first moto. Is it a pride thing right now that he just says, I'm the fastest on night number 2? Because he's probably not in it for the overall.
Oh, pride, money, everything. These guys are Supercross racers. You come up on the inside. Oh, a little look over the shoulder by Short, and Brown comes right back. Oh, and he knocked him right out into the hay bales.
Little gamesmanship right there. You run him deep, cut underneath, you get your own nose taken out. Some Mike Brown out in front. Kelly Smith knocking on the door.
I know. You know what? That was a big turn of events. You saw Kelly Smith make a clean pass. At the same time, Mike Brown was able to get right back past him. And you see the red cross flags out. Mike Brown should not have jumped that tabletop. Andrew Short on the sidetrack. Now watch this again. See Short come sliding in, looks over his shoulder, not too aggressive, maybe a little bit of attitude, and then Mike Brown right back. And
that was aggressive.
That was aggressive, but that wasn't a takeout move by any means. Look, he's in the middle of the racetrack. He comes over, he's looking over. Yeah, he banked off him a little bit. And I'll tell you what, they're booing right now in the MGM. If that were Bristol, Tennessee, where Mike Brown's from, NASCAR country, he'd be getting a standing ovation. That's the difference between East and West.
The first time I saw it, I thought Brown took out Short. The second time, you could see he was making a deliberate move to try and make that inside turn. There just was no more room left. So Mike Brown, now the benefactor, out in front. You're right, he did jump on the cross flag. We want to remind you that if the cross flag comes out as he is going to jump it, the officials have to make that decision. Yeah. Unfortunate for Kelly Smith, though.
Remember, though, that was a tabletop jump, and there's a big difference there. It was not a double jump. Mike Brown's got the lead, but the big recipient is going to be Kelly Smith, his Yamaha Troy teammate. Smith is going to finish second place behind Mike Brown, and that's going to give him the overall win. One more corner to go from the veteran from Tennessee. There's the checkered flag.
The battle is won by Mike Brown, number 3, but the war goes to Kelly Smith, and we'll hear from both of them when we come back to Vegas.
For breath after the amazing race. Check with the AMA. The reason Mike Brown was not disqualified or docked because the cross flag was not on the face of that double.
No matter what, his second place was able to take the overall Camerons with Kelly Smith.
Well, guys, set on top of the podium, the Boost Mobile Yamaha Troy rider, Kelly Smith. His first ride for the team, his first ever Supercross win. You've got to be pumped.
Oh, I am. My Dunlop tires hooked up and got me out to a great start, and the new team's doing awesome. My new mechanic, Larry's awesome, and you know, I got to thank the Lord for keeping me safe out there. I'm pumped. It's a great way to start off with the new team.
It's a 2-night race. It's got to be tough for you guys to think about pacing yourself last night and then being safe tonight. Is it hard to make your moto how you're going to do it?
Oh, man, you know, it all depends on how you do on the start, and I've been lucky enough to get some great starts, and you know, I was in there in second behind Brown, and he was kind of holding me up a little, so Short was right on me, and man, I was just hoping he didn't, you know, do something dumb and take me down and, you know, mess me up for the overall, and he ended up getting by me and went down with Brown, so it worked out for me, but I don't know, it's hard to, you know, predict what's going to happen.
Taking home the win to Michigan.
Yeah, I'm pumped, and my wife's here, and I've got friends and family back home watching, I hope, and I'm pumped.
Congratulations, a great race for Kelly Smith, his first ever win, and should set him off great for next year's Supercross season. Back up to you guys.
You're exactly right, Cameron. Let's take a look at our results here for night number 2. I'm impressed with Ryan Mills, a consistent 3rd spot. He was up front all night, and Troy Adams in 5th. Andrew Short drops back to 8th.
Well, it's a tough break for Andrew, and you know what? A lot of people aren't too happy with Mike Brown. He's with Cameron Steele.
Well, Brownie, a big win on night number 2, but last night you had to be frustrated. You found out there was a problem with your carburetor?
Yeah, you know, I came here the weekend, you know, after riding my bike all week and testing, and it was awesome, and I get here, and it's, you know, I had a little bit of problem with the carburation, and, you know, thank goodness I have a good team, you know, to figure out what was going on, because I ain't rode a four-stroke enough to tell them really exactly what's going on right now, and, you know, they got it figured out. My bike's awesome tonight, and I got 2 good starts, and, you know, that's all I can do. Hopefully I can continue this all year long.
You know, it's kind of ironic, and I don't know if you're doing the math while you're out there, but while you were leading, Andrew was 2nd, Kelly was 3rd, you would be the overall winner, and then you and Andrew get together. Basically, put yourself in the win tonight, but by Andrew losing out, by you guys getting together, you took yourself out of the win overall.
For sure, you know, I wasn't counting on that overall. I was just going for the win, you know, and I needed that. I've been out for a while and I ain't raced in a long time, and you know, I just wanted to win. That's all I came here for, and you know, overall it would have been great. You know, luckily my teammate got it, and you know, I'm here just to win and do my best every race.
As we look at the 125 overall results, Smith, Brown, and how about that? Brooksville, Florida's own Troy Adams able to take the number 3 spot, and he's down with Cameron Steele. Boy, he's smiling a lot.
Well, folks, he wraps up his first year in Supercross, starting off his second year. Troy Adams on the podium, a 3rd place, a true privateer riding for the Moto XXX team. This has got to be gratifying.
I don't know what to say. I was so much in a jumble after I came off the finish line. I heard Irv Braun saying that I might have got 3rd overall, and that just got my nerves racing again. And I thought I'd just calm down after the checkered flag, getting all the adrenaline away, but it's great to be up here.
I can see where you might be a little bit confused because you didn't have a great start. I mean, did you have some problems at the beginning?
I did. Me and a couple other guys, I got my foot caught in some guy's rear wheel, and I couldn't get it out. And after the 2nd turn, and that just got me all screwed up. So I was playing catch up the whole race, and I made a few mistakes. But I told myself to calm down over one of the triples and get a deep breath and start all over again, and it worked.
Well, 3rd place for you, first time ever on the podium. Kelly Smith winning his first time. Maybe the times are changing a little bit in Supercross. Should be an exciting year.
Maybe, and it's good to start it off like this.
Great job.
All right, thanks a lot.
Well, he's looking forward to the 2004 Supercross schedule, and speaking of that, here it is. Find a stop near you. Each one of them being promoted by Clear Channel Motorsports, except the Daytona Beach round. But again, find the stop near you, write it down in your calendar, and we'll expect to see you there. Now, Amateur Arena Cross World Finals, these young ladies, young men from around the country, Davey, qualified to get here to Vegas, and they had a great time.
Lots of happy participants in the amateur division. You see some of the champions there. If you want to participate in the 2004 version of the World Arena Cross Finals, just visit the U.S. National Arena Cross Championship Series, getting ready to kick off in Albany, New York.
The 250 final is ready here in Vegas. Will Vuillemin roll snake eyes or 7? Stick with us. Racing, because we're at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the U.S. Open. The field is set. Ernesto Fonseca with the quickest heat race.
Fonseca really fast, but Chad Reed's right there. So are the big hitters. Carmichael, Vuillemin. See LaRocco back in 7th. 12 riders made this main event. This is the finals. The 2003 U.S. Open. You see Nick Wade lined up on the inside. Carmichael right next to him. There's Joe Aloff. And off the start, looks like Carmichael got a great jump. And once again, it's Fonseca. Fonseca on the inside takes the lead. And then you've got Vuillemin, Reed, Carmichael back and forth.
Honda has to be happy with Ernesto Fonseca getting ready for this 2004 season. He's showing some promise here this weekend. Fonseca is out in front. Here comes Carmichael on the inside of Vuillemin and makes the pass. Now LaRocco up inside of Reed. How did he get by Reed?
I don't know, but right now Vuillemin is definitely not starting out the same way he did in the first main event. He is all the way back at 3rd, and now he's got Reed and LaRocco coming right up on him. Reed on the inside there.
You can be offensive or defensive. Right now, Chad Reed being very offensive. Fonseca trying to check out, and he goes down.
Oh, what an unfortunate fall. Fonseca had it made. He had a great start. All he had to do is kind of gap himself a little bit from the pack. He's been in the running for a podium as it is. He's all the way back at 12th.
Very reminiscent of Ricky Carmichael last year, I may add, almost in that same section.
Hey, in this town, you never count your money until you leave the table. And now Carmichael with a nice little gap. You see Reed take a look back over his shoulder. I'll tell you what, we're the same way we finished last night, only it's complete reverse order. Carmichael 1, Reed 2, Vuillemin 3.
And if it stays in this position, it's Ricky Carmichael who will walk out of here with his 3rd U.S. Open championship.
See him hugging the inside right there. Vuillemin doing everything he can to get around Reed. And right now, I tell you, Carmichael looks solid. You see him getting the board from Mike Gosselaar right there. Carmichael looks good, but Reed, much better start. And you got to admit, at the beginning of the first main event, Reed was definitely the fastest man on the track at the end.
David Vuillemin, the Cobra's back in 3rd spot. He said, I just need to get one at a time, but he was riding a little too defensive to start things off. And this guy, Chad Reed, he's definitely not doing so. He's kind of biding his time, though. It looks like he's trying to wait for Ricky to make a mistake, but he is all over the CR250 of Ricky Carmichael.
I tell you what, in the close quarters like this, I have a feeling Carmichael would be more uncomfortable if he were at 2nd right now, because there's a long way to go. In fact, there you see Reed swing around the outside. tries that slingshot pass. Carmichael looks like he's riding defensively. Now this is where Reed passed him the first time. He got a better drive out. Maybe Carmichael learned that lesson, kept it a little tighter.
He did. He went to the inside down that front straightaway, made all the difference in the world. But look how close Reed is. You know how hard it is to stay this close without actually making a pass. But boy, you're putting the fear of the Yamaha in that Honda rider in front of him. Carmichael trying to lean over and shut down the door.
I tell you what, right now Reed is actually setting the pace for this race, even though he's in second. You don't see that very often. He is riding with the most confidence. Ducks the inside. You see the crowd on their feet. Carmichael held it, but Reed gets the better drive going down through the whoops.
I'm on my feet. Boy, Chad Reed takes it. All right, how much does Ricky want it? We know he's been practicing for the donations. Reed's been practicing for the Supercross, but man, Reed is just trying to check out as quick as he can.
And there you saw Davey Dye giving Chad the signal from the Pro Yamaha pits. But wow, Carmichael, I know, has been thinking about this for a long time. As we've talked about a couple times, Robbie. He ended up the last Supercross season with 6 straight losses, but he didn't necessarily have to beat Chad. Now he kind of wants to reset the tempo, get ready for 2004, and remind Chad why he's the 3-time series champion. But right now, Ricky's got to be thinking, what in the world have I got myself into? It's like Jeremy McGrath reborn with Chad Reed out front on that Yamaha.
Well, Reed's out in front now. Ricky Carmichael in the U.S. Supercross Series. Second place won him the championship. And here at the U.S. Open, he's not going to win $100,000 if he stays in second place. And Chad Reed wants it in a bad way. Stick with us for more of the 2BD Final from Vegas when we come back.
In a world where beauty...
Well, he needs some help, and I got to tell you, Chad Reed, I was blown away by how well Vuillemin rode last night. This guy tonight, Chad Reed, is actually riding faster, and he is serving notice to everybody that he is ready for Supercross 2004, which is going to start in Spain in early December with the first couple rounds of the World Supercross Series. I know Chad's talking about going. I'll tell you what, if I'm Ricky Carmichael, I'm packing my bags too, because right now it is Reed and not Carmichael, the 3-time champion, who is setting the pace in Supercross.
Well, at the last show, the lappers really seem to help Reed close in on Vuillemin. Here, it seems like it's all Yamahas that are in front of him. They're going to move over. They're going to say, hey, buddy, you're out in front. You deserve this race. There's really not much adherence to the blue flag in these type races because they're all battling for position.
Oh, exactly. And you got people who rarely get lapped that are seeing that blue flag. But you know what? The way Chad Reed's riding right now, he's completely on top of his game. A lapper might be in front of him, but he's not going to get in his way. Right now, Chad just can't do any wrong. You see him starting to gap Ricky Carmichael. You know what? This is going to have repercussions beyond just that 6-figure paycheck Chad's about to pick up if he holds on to this, because Carmichael and Honda are going to have to go back to the drawing board. Again, he had a lot of time to get ready for the Motocross the Nations. That's a completely different type of racing. But when he gets ready to get back to Supercross, he knows what he's going to have to do because he's seeing it right now in the flesh. Number 22 in control.
Let's talk about that mental paycheck he's going to be cashing over Ricky Carmichael too. You walk out of here with more confidence than he probably had all at the end of last year, winning 6 races in a row. As we're on the last lap, the white flag's out. What about the confidence factor going into the 2004 championship?
I'll tell you what, it makes a huge difference, Robbie, especially the way Chad's summer went. We talked about that before. Carmichael dominated the Outdoor Nationals. Chad didn't even win a moto. All he had to work off of were those last 6 Supercross wins. And you could see the people in a packed MGM Grand up on their feet, giving him a standing ovation. This is a tour de force as far as Supercross goes. He started behind Carmichael. He passed him. $100,000 on the line, and Chad Reed invincible here in Vegas.
One more turn to go, and Chad Reed is going to be $100,000 richer and crowned the next champion of the U.S. Open. So the bettors, the odds makers, they knew what they were talking about when they had Chad Reed at even odds. When we come back, we'll hear from our podium. Stick with us. Brought to you by Honda. Ride red with a back-to-back AMA Supercross and Motocross champions, the Honda CR2BDR and Ricky Carmichael. Introducing the new 2004 Nissan Titan full-size truck, equipped with a standard 305 horsepower, 5.6-liter and powerful V8 engine, on sale December 1st. Thank you for rejoining us here on Speed in Las Vegas. The U.S. Open is just about over with. The 85cc class 4 motos. Jeff Alessi battled out in moto number 1, and he was able to take the win on that CR80.
Unfortunately, the second moto did not bode as well for Jeff Alessi. He went for the triple jump, just way too ambitious. He goes down hard, and that's going to mean the end of his weekend at the U.S. Open. Dominic Izzy, who battled a second the first time, wins that race. Then in the next one, it was time for Josh Hill to put his Yamaha out front. He took the third main event win, but in the end, it was the number 1 Suzuki of Nico Izzy who was crowned the 85cc champion. But the real big winner was Chad Reed, and he's with Cameron Steele.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he was the odds-on favorite, and Chad Reed did not disappoint. Reedy, how about 100 grand, buddy? A good day's work. Woo.
I had no idea.
Nice. I didn't either. I heard it.
The second biggest check I've ever had was the World Supercross was my biggest, and both are from Clear Channel. So, you know, I want to thank Clear Channel a lot because they're doing a great job for our sport and, you know, taking it to the next level. So thanks for that. And I want to thank my team, Yamaha, for making me an awesome 250. And, you know, I think I answered a few questions. You know, I had a really tough outdoor season, and things didn't go my way, but we showed that we had the best bike in Supercross and what I can do on the best bike. So, you know, I'm happy for that and the team and all the guys at Thor and Parts Unlimited, Scott, Bridgestone, my fiance Ellie for, you know, her support, and just everybody, you know, Bob Moore, the family, Steve, my trainer Jeff Spencer. You know, we've been doing a lot of hard work, and we want that title next year.
So, Chad, what are you going to do with all the money?
You know, $100,000 is a lot of money, and but you know, I really wanted to win for myself and the money to give to a good friend of mine that got paralyzed. So, you know, money's not going to be mine. So, you know, I want to give it to him and getting back to Australia and getting well.
Congratulations, a great ride. You got some time, so let's celebrate a little bit. Chad Reed, your overall winner. Great job, Chad.
Very good gesture by Chad Reed there. $100,000 going to his buddy Jamie Brogman, who was injured at Millville at an outdoor national a couple of months ago. As you see the final results for the 250 final, and Cameron Steele's down with Ricky Carmichael. He has 2 championships, but couldn't make it number 3 this week.
Well, Ricky, you made the decision to represent the United States at the Dis Nations. It put you behind the 8-ball a little bit. You couldn't test for Supercross. It's frustrating coming in here, but you told me you feel a little bit more comfortable tonight than you did on night 1.
Definitely. I mean, I think I rode a lot better. You know, I made a couple of mistakes, and that could have cost me the win. Chad was riding good, but I felt that I had what it takes. You know, he was better than me, and I don't have a problem admitting that. I need to work and get to feeling, you know, 100% comfortable with the bike and knowing exactly the limits and knowing where I can put it and what I can do and what I can't do. And with the new setup, I don't feel like I'm there yet, but no excuses. I didn't have nothing for him. I was a second-place guy tonight.
A very humble Ricky Carmichael. He's going to finish 3rd overall as you see the final results for the weekend. David Vuillemin, though, he's got to be happy looking forward to the 2004 season. He finishes in 2nd.
Well, David Vuillemin, a win on the first night, put all the pressure on you. Were you feeling it going out tonight? You finished 2nd, it's not bad, but were you feeling more pressure because you won that first night?
Not too much, you know. It seems like I did not ride as aggressive as I did yesterday, you know, and I had a tough time in the whoops. And, you know, Chad and Ricky are the best guys in the one Supercross, so it was kind of tough. I had a great night yesterday, and today they were a little better, you know. I thought my speed was there for 10 laps, and after they kind of took off, and I just stayed 3rd place. And, you know, it's just the beginning of my preparation for 04, and I'm going to try my best to be ready for the first round.
Well, Kelly Smith wins the 125s. Chad Reed wins the 250. Your thoughts, Davey?
Very impressed by Chad Reed and Kelly Smith. I can't wait to see what happens. By the way, this is the first time a Yamaha has won this race since Jeff Emig did it back in 1999. They go 1-2, and they go 1-2 in the 125 class. Big Blue is ready for 2004.
Big Blue came out on top this week. Chad Reed, Kelly Smith, congratulations. For Cameron Steele and Davey Coombs, I'm Robbie Floyd. Thanks for joining us.